Happy Friday, guys. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hey. You can rise. You can be. You can live. You can dream. Miss Shirley's Reading Adventures. Hi, guys. Happy Friday. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I see I've already got Janicia. I got my two authors on here, Janicia. I've got Kendall. Hi, Mom. You did more worksheets. What kind of worksheets did you do? Hi, Ken. Hi, I'm Jaden. I'm calling you Kendall. Hi, Jaden. And are your sister and brother watching too? Amaya and Jaden, you got to tell me your older brother's name. I've forgotten his name. How are you guys doing? What kind of worksheets did you do today, Janicia? Just came out that I see that they're going to be giving, you finally remembered the sit-ups. How many did you do, Kendall? Hey, Aubrey. Hey, Bold One. How many did you do today? Hey, Max. What have you guys been up to? Tell me about your Friday. What did you do today that you're proud of? Tell me. I can't read your morning work anymore. I'm used to reading your morning work right there where you guys are sitting right next to me and I'm able to discuss it. I can't do that. So tell me. What did you do today? You can choose one, either happy about, proud of, or something you did to make someone else smile. Please tell me. Aubrey, you haven't done this since last school year, but please tell me you did 50 to 80 sit-ups. Maybe Miss Yerby needs to do some sit-ups. That's what I need to be doing because I have not been doing sit-ups. So that's something that I need to be doing. So, my camera is over here now and I'm thinking that I have the other camera, so I'm glad the camera that I thought was on is not. So when I'm reading, I'm going to have to look over here, having some technical difficulties. That's okay. This is the way I used to do it, so I'll go back. All right, so tell me, you did money, you did time, you did money because you had a hard time and it got better. I'm glad it got better because I got to look over here today. I didn't get a chance to teach you guys money. Oh, boy. I'm going to share with you an easy way to do it. I'm going to tell your mom about it, Janicia. You had a 10-pound weight. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, that's what greatness is right there. You walked around the track 4 times. I saw a picture, Aubrey, your mom put up with you, your sister, and your brothers, and I was like, Aubrey, so I did get a chance to see you. You got some new library books. Where are you at? Because the libraries here are closed. I'm so glad that you're able to get library books. What kind of books did you get? Tell me some of the name of those books so I can see if they're books that I've read before. And who else do we have over here? 10-pound. Max, talk to me, sir. What have you done? Max? Tell me. I want to smile. I want to know what you're up to. Go up to the school today. Did you guys ride your bikes up to the school? Because today was a nice day to do it. I actually went jogging today. Oh, I did not know Chesapeake Libraries had curbside pickup. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. Thank you. See, you're never too young to teach and you're never too old to learn. I just learned that the Chesapeake Libraries have curbside pickup. I already know how to go ahead and select the books that I want. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. So now I know. You went to the library too, Jaden. What kind of books did you get? Kendall, you wrote another motivational note. What is it? I remember the one when you said you were the one. I forgot it. Kendall, what was the quote that you gave me and I put up on my site for everybody to see? And what's your new one? Oh, you guys are still doing greatness. I love it. You're just watching. Okay, well, that's wonderful because you're my great one. So I'm glad that you're here. You got some books from the library. Okay, so I have decided that I am going to make Friday, so I'll have to look at both cameras. Usually I have both cameras right here, but I don't know what happened. I have decided that I'm going to make Fridays the day that I do chapter books. And for those of you who have been in my class, you've already seen this book. Great ones from this year. We had just begun reading it. Aubrey, I think you're the only one watching it from last year. We Tales of Sasha books. I'm not familiar with those. I'll have to look it up. Aubrey, I believe I read this one to your class last year, but that's okay. You can hear it again. You might see something that you've never actually seen before. So, with that being said, I always talk about look at the pictures, 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 look at the pictures. Well, in chapter books, there aren't many pictures, and in some chapter books, there are no pictures at all. But the great thing about that is you get to create, but you can create some of them. But as you start to read harder and harder books, the characters can look however you choose for them to look. You have the power to create it on your own. So I'm going to go. You are the one who can develop the strength inside of you. Yes, that's the one that you had already come up with, Kendall. What did you come up with this time? Please share. Please share. I am going to read. I might do 2 chapters because the chapters are so short, but I'm going to read Dinosaurs Before Dawn. And looking at the cover of this, first thing good readers have to decide, is this fiction or nonfiction? And I mean, I see a little boy riding on the top of a prehistoric creature. And so, is this going to be fiction, fake, or is this going to be nonfiction, real? I tell you guys, most of the time when you have a nonfiction book, it has an actual photo on it, and the photo is a real picture. Just like if you guys decided to take your computer right now and you did a screenshot of me. It's real. I'm really here reading it to you. So, yeah, I think I did read this to you guys last year. I see fiction. Yeah. So you guys are happy about this. And when I went to my classroom last Friday to pick up books, I picked up book 1 through book 10. So we've got lots of books. The Magic Treehouse books we can read. This is book 1. All right. So while we're reading this, she's going to go grab her copy. Perfect. So I'll talk a little bit so she'll be able to read on with me. Perfect. So as I'm reading this book, I want you to think about the characters. I want you to analyze the characters. And that means, are the characters nice? Are they mean? Are they bold? Are they shy? Are they careful? Like, let me think about this before I do it. Or they care less and they just go and do it and don't even really think about it. Those are the things that I want you to look for. And then after reading the chapter, we're going to do a summary. And for the summary, we're going to do the word somebody, wanted, but, so, then. Somebody is going to be the main character. And looking at the cover, we can see that there are 2 characters in here. If you are familiar with these, you know that this is Annie and this is Jack. Well, no, this is Jack. We're going to have to figure out who, because you can only have one somebody. Can't be both of them. Who are they talking about the most? Somebody wanted. What does the main character want? But is the problem. I really, really, really want to be in school with my kids, but we have a virus going around that people can catch, so I'm not able to do it. So how is the problem? How does the character try to solve the problem? Then what actually happens? So somebody wanted, but, so, then. That's what we're going to do. Fascination. The title of your motivation was fascination. It was fascination. So that's the title, fascination. But you haven't told me the entire thing. Are you still working on it? I'm looking at the wrong camera. Sorry, I'm used to both cameras being right there. Are you still working on it? Give me a little bit more details. All right. Does Sophia have her copy? So I can go ahead and get started. Sophia, do you have your copy? Dinosaurs Before Dark. Before dark, so I'm visualizing. Oh, it might be kind of like it is outside now because the sun has gone down and it's starting to get dark outside. So I'm going to make a text, this book, connection to what's going on outside now. If you are in Virginia, now if you're outside of Virginia, it might be a little bit different. But for those of you guys that are here in Virginia, it's dusk when the sun goes down. It's not dark yet, but the sun is not up. So I'm thinking that that's the same thing that we have going on here. Dinosaurs Before Dark by Mary Pope Osborne. And Random House has given permission to read their books now. That's what Dr. Seuss falls under. So happy. Table of contents. Now, I tell you guys that one of the ways that you can tell a nonfiction book from a fiction book is a table of contents. But when you have a chapter book, the table of contents is telling you about the chapters, even though it is a fiction book. And I'm definitely going to read chapter 1, Into the Woods. Visualize going into the woods, and it's just before dark. What do you hear? Visualize. When you visualize this, what do you hear? What do you see? What do you smell? What do you feel? We're not tasting anything, but it could be what do you taste? I hear grasshoppers. I hear toads. I hear the leaves ruffling in the wind. I hear birds. Let's see, you said owls. What else might you hear at this time of night that I may have missed in the woods? I feel just a little bit chilly because the sun is not up anymore. So I'm just a little bit chilly because I get cold really quickly. I see crickets, owls, good. So we're going to go ahead into the woods. We do have a picture, so I would like you to analyze. Look at this picture. So I see the two of them walking. It looks like, is that a book bag? Is he coming from school? Or do you think maybe he just likes to carry a book bag around? It says before dark. I don't know. What do you guys think? Hey, Adrian. Hey, Ninja. What do you guys think? Adrian, I've decided that I'm going to make every Friday a day that I read chapter books. Help! A monster! Said Annie. Yeah, sure, said Jack, making sure both can see. A real monster in Frog Creek, Pennsylvania. We've just learned something about them. A fact, they live in Frog Creek, Pennsylvania. Run, Jack! Said Annie. She ran up the road. Oh, brother. This is what he got for spending time with his 7-year-old sister. We just learned something about Annie. She's 7 years old. They live in Frog Creek, Pennsylvania. Annie loved pretend stuff. Remember that. She likes pretend stuff. But Jack was 8.5, and he likes real things. Jack is 8.5. Who's older? She's 7. He's 8.5. He likes real things. Watch out, Jack! The monster's coming! Is it really a monster? No. It already says right here. Where does it say? I'm going back to find it. Oh, she likes pretend things. So no. Thanks, said Jack. Annie raced alone into the woods. Give me a word to describe her real quick. If she raced alone into the woods, how is she? Give me one word to describe someone that's going to go into the woods. It's getting dark by themselves. You felt my goosebumps? Oh, when I got cold? Yes, I probably did show you guys that. We didn't finish it? We didn't. We didn't finish it, so we are going to finish. Fearless. I love that. Energetic. Yeah, because she's running around. What else? What else is she? Fearless. What's another word for fearless? I like the word fearless. Can someone give me a synonym? A word that means the same as fearless? She is. Give it to me. She is somebody on one of the computers. The word I was looking for is brave. She's brave. She's bold. Thank you. There it is. All right. Jack looked at the sky. The sun was about to set. Oh, so it hasn't quite set yet. I visualize him looking up, and the sun is almost down. Come on, Annie. It's time to go home. So think about what does Jack want to do? And what does Annie want to do? Because remember, afterwards, you guys are going to have to figure out who does the chapter talk about most and What does that one want to do? What is that? Is it Jack? Is it Annie? Come on, Annie, it's time to go home. But Annie had disappeared. Jack waited. No Annie. Annie! He shouted, Jack, come here. Annie groaned. Everybody groaned. Everyone groaned. This better be good, he said. Jack left the road and headed into the woods. The trees were lit with a golden late afternoon light, which means not a light. It's not like really bright, like you go outside and you're like, oh, the sun. Oh, it's just a small little bit of light. Come here, called Annie. There she was, standing under a tall oak tree. An oak tree is a big tree, and it's tall. Visualize little Annie, 7 years old, standing under the tree. Visualize that. Visualize it. See it in your head. Look, she said. She was pointing at a rope ladder. Yes, he wants to go home. The longest rope ladder Jack had ever seen. Wow. So I visualized looking up at a ladder, and it's the longest one I've ever seen. Makes me think about there's some really tall trees in California called redwoods, and it makes me remember when I went and saw them, and they were, oh my gosh, so tall, so tall. The ladder went all the way to the top of the tree. There at the top was a tree house. It was tucked between two branches. So visualize you're looking up. You see the tree house. Do you want to climb it? Thumbs up if you want to climb it. Thumbs down if you're going to keep your feet on the ground. No, you do not want to climb up a ladder and go into a tree house. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Okay, Aubrey. As long as you respond. I lost my spot. That must be the highest tree house in the world, said Annie. Who built it? Asked Jack. I've never seen it before. So right now, they're both hooked. They're hooked at the house, how tall it is, or how high up off the ground it is, how long the ladder is. And Jack is like, wow, who built it? I don't know, but I'm going up. Who said this? Who's the brave one? Who's the brave one? Said Annie. Aubrey's going to stay on the ground. No, we don't know who it belongs to, said Jack. Just for a teeny minute, said Annie. She started up the ladder. Annie, come back. She kept climbing. You're afraid the ladder might break? It's almost dark. We have to go home. He said it again. Annie disappeared inside the treehouse. Annie! Jack waited a moment. He was about to call Annie again when Annie poked her head out the treehouse window. So here's Jack down here, the long ladder in the treehouse. Jack, the long ladder, the treehouse, and if you look closely, you can see Annie poking her head out the treehouse window. He was about to call again when Annie poked her head out the treehouse window. Books! She shouted. What? It's filled with books. Oh, man. Jack loved books, see, because her brother and sister, she knew how to hook him. Jack wasn't about to come up there. He's like, I'm not coming up there. We need to go home. When she said books, it hooked him. He pushed his glasses into place like I just did. Glasses fall down a little bit. You push them into place. He gripped the sides of the rope ladder, and up he went. And that's the end of chapter 1. So let's do a summary together. Who did the book talk about more or most? Did it talk more about Annie and her thoughts and what she wanted? Or did it talk more about Jack and his thoughts and what he wanted? Who did it talk about most? Do I need to go back? I want you guys to answer, and I'm going to just read. Go back to be sure. Help a monster, said Annie. Oh, sure, said Jack, a real monster in Frog Creek, Pennsylvania. Run, Jack, run, said Annie. She ran up the road. Oh, brother, this is what he got for spending time with his 7-year-old sister. Annie loved pretend stuff, but Jack was 8.5. He liked real things. Watch out, Jack, there's a monster coming. Race you. No thanks, said Jack. Annie raced along. Jack looked at the sky. The sun was about to set. Come on, Annie, it's time to go. But Annie had disappeared. Jack waited. No Annie. Annie, he shouted. Jack, Jack, come here. Jack groaned. This better be good, he said. Jack left the road and headed into the woods. The trees were lit with a golden afternoon light. Come here, called Annie. There she was, standing under the tall oak tree. Look, she was pointing at the rope ladder. Who do you think? Is it Jack or is it Annie? Is it Jack or is it Annie? 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 So it's more about Annie? You're still thinking about it, Kendall? Who are you? Where people are saying Annie. Okay. Jack and his thoughts. So I see Jack and his thoughts, and then I see Annie. I see Jack, Annie. Hey, Michael. I would say it's more about Jack and his thoughts. It's about Jack calling Annie, and then, you said Annie's actions, but Jack's thoughts. And I would say it's more about Jack, his thoughts, him talking about the sister, and I have to deal with this. So if our main character is Jack, what does he remember? Somebody wanted. What did Jack want? And most of you guys told me that at the beginning. What did Jack want? Tell me again. What does Jack want? For those of you who have been in my class for the past 2 years, you know the song, Somebody Wanted Something, but so then what? I'll put a link on here so you guys can go look that up on YouTube if you want. Yes, Jack wanted to go home. So that's what he wanted. But here's the problem. So somebody, Jack, wanted to go home, but what's the problem? Why can't he go home? Why can't he go home, guys? Why can't he go home? Let me see. It's time to go home. But Annie had disappeared. Jack waited. No Annie. Annie, he shouted again. Jack, come here. Jack groaned. This better be good, he said. He left the road and headed into the woods. The trees were lit with the golden late afternoon sunlight. So why can't he go home? Well, his sister ran into the woods, and he's the big brother, so he's got to go after the sister. So he couldn't go home because Annie was in the woods and she wouldn't come out. So we have somebody, Jack, wanted to go home, but Annie was in the woods. His little sister Annie was in the woods and she wouldn't come out. So what's the so? How does he try to solve this problem? What does he do? What does he do? I just read it. Jack left the road and headed into the woods. So he goes into the woods. Then, what's the last thing that happens? Then, so we have, doing a summary, somebody, Jack, wanted to go home, but his little sister Annie ran into the woods and wouldn't come out. So Jack went into the woods after her. Then, what's the last thing that happened? What's the last thing that happened? Yep, he followed her. What's the last thing that happened? Last thing that happens, and we can look and see in case you've forgotten. So they're into the woods, and he pushed his glasses into place. He gripped the sides of the rope ladder, and up he went. Then they found a tree house, and they both went into the tree house. So a summary of chapter 1. Somebody, Jack, wanted to go home, but his little sister Annie went into the woods and wouldn't come out. So he followed her into the woods. Then they found a treehouse and they both went up into the treehouse. We will continue reading chapter 2 next week. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. This was a tad bit shorter than the others, but I have decided, anybody who has joined in later, that every Friday I'm going to, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but on Friday I'm going to be doing the chapter books. So thank you so much for joining me. I want you to think of something that you're happy about. I think I saw on here, Kendall, you said something. Somebody said something over here about seeing me. I finished it. I'm showing you part 1, my frustration. School is closed for the rest of the year. My fascination. I get to see my teacher every night at 7:30 on Facebook. Yes, Kendall, you turned your frustration into fascination. You make me proud. Thank you for continuing to make me proud. I'm happy that you wrote this up here, and it just makes me feel really good inside. What is something that all of you guys are happy about? I'm happy about being able, even though I can't see your faces, I visualize you, Everyone that I've seen here, I visualize you guys. I visualize you. And that makes me happy that I already had this set up and I'm able to see you. What is something that you guys did that you are proud of? Something that you guys did. I miss you too, Janicia. Something that you did that you're proud of that when you think about it, you can sit back and you can smile. What is it? Think about it. Yes, elephants, you haven't forgotten. I want you to think of the thing that you're happy about. I want you to think of the thing that you did that you were proud of, and I want you to lock it in. The thing you were happy about, the thing you did that you're proud of. Lock it in. Inhale. Exhale. Smile. You're beautiful. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope that you have a very nice weekend. Continue to do great things. Do something tomorrow that makes you better than you are today. Continue to do something every day to make other people smile. And I will see you guys on Monday at 7:30. I love you guys. Bye. Thank you for joining me. I love you. Bye. Bye, YouTube. Bye, Facebook.